In this video we're going to take a look at and how to set up a popular portrait lighting style known as Rembrandt lighting. Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is Rocco. I hope you're doing well. In the last video on lighting that we did, we laid down the principles of how to do a promo image type of shot or a studio type of shot, like you maybe would see in glamour photography or something like that, fashion photography. Well, what we're going to do in this video is we're going to take a look at one of the lighting setups that we can use when creating these promo shots or these studio shots. But it's also a lighting setup that we can apply in real life shots, whether it's in a fantasy castle or, you know, a downtown street or something. Again, it's just getting these principles in place and things for you to actually put into your images rather than just randomly putting lights around and hoping that something good comes out. Now, Rembrandt was a Dutch master painter from the 17th century, I think it was, known for his dramatic use of light and shadow in his paintings that he created. And the Rembrandt lighting style, which he inspired, is a portrait technique that creates a little small triangle of light on the shadowed side of the subject's face, giving this moody and dimensional effect things that you might see on screen at the moment. And so what we're going to do in this little video is we're going to look at the light position and how you've got to do it to try and create this similar look on your models and in your images. And so over here then, in the viewport, we've got our model all suited and ready for action. Maybe she's got on a day trip out and she's looking up the railway line, looking for the train that's approaching. Who knows? But anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to light her up in the style of Rembrandt and hope we can get that done before her train arrives. Take her to the seaside. Now, if we just briefly come across to our render settings, just open up this tab, we can see that we've got ourselves set on scene only, and that's all that we've got. And if we close that back down and just come into NVIDIA iRate, everything is currently black because we have nothing in scene lighting anything up. But we're going to change that. We are going to follow the principles of the three-point lighting system, despite us focusing specifically on Rembrandt, which only really takes one light, but we will apply everything else. So we do have in here, ready to be switched on, already a fill light and a rim light. So if we were to just turn on the fill light for a moment, we can see we're just going to be casting a little bit of light in from the left of our model. And if we were to just come out to our perspective view for a moment and spin around, you can see that the light is just over here. It's just this it's a panel, really. I've got a 2 meter tall panel there and 1 meter wide, or 50 centimeters wide, just so that we can create a full fill of the entirety of our model's body. And then over behind her, we've got a rim light set up. Now, I've actually got it hidden in the viewport there, so you can't actually see it. And if we were to turn this on, you can see that we're just using it just to highlight the side of her hair and the bottom strands of her hair on the model there. So all that we're missing now is just adding our key light in there, and it's this key light which is going to create the main lighting for the scene, but also it's going to apply this Rembrandt lighting to our model. So that we get this Rembrandt light then, what we need to do is we need to position our light source up above our model and off to about a 45-degree angle from her face. And so what we'll end up having then is we'll have the light coming in from this direction here. It'll catch the nose on this side of her face, and then the shadow from the nose will create one side of the triangle, and the darkness on this side of her face will create another, and then the shadow that exists underneath somebody's eye will create the third side. So what we end up with is we're going to end up with this little triangle just like that on our model's face. That's the plan, that's the idea. So we need to get the position of this light right. So if we now come back to our perspective camera, therefore, and then we zoom out and we just spin our camera up and around, we want to be roughly in this position right here, more or less in this position. You know, we'll have to mess about with it for a moment to get it right. We want to be more or less in this position. We're about 45 degrees angled to our model's head, and we're up above looking down upon her. So if we now then come up and create a new spotlight, and then switch it on with the dialog box and click accept, we get the light pointing down there. Now I'm going to be a little bit out there, so what we'll do, we'll come across, look through our spotlight so we use it as a camera, and just position it to roughly where we're going to need it. We might have to fiddle around, as I say, but we'll get there in a moment. So if we now come back to our camera and come down to the light properties, we're going to just change what we're going to do. I'm going to leave it for the moment as a point light, just so that we can really see the hard lines of this Rembrandt light. So we'll leave that for now. We will turn it into a softer rectangle or disc later. But we're going to come down to the luminous flux, and we're going to up the brightness a little bit, as such. And then we're going to just change the temperature just to something nice, bright white. You can see there this shadow that's being formed off our model's nose with that. It's not quite right. We are going to have to change it a little bit, and I'm going to have to play around with it a little bit. But you can more or less see already this almost the formation of a triangle here over on a cheek. Maybe this brightness is a little bit too much for what I want for now, because I know I'll be having to change that later anyway. So I can see it's a little bit out at the moment. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come back up to the spotlight as such, and I'm just going to shivel around with our camera or through the eyes of our spotlight to try and get us where we want to be. We'll just move it around, change the angles around a little bit. I normally tend to put that dot in the spotlight right on the end of our model's nose, as you can see. And if we come back to the camera, now even though we're doing it with a really harsh light at the moment, you can see this triangle that's formed there on the model, on the cheek of our model on the opposite side of the light. So I've done it harsh there just so you can see it. But now if we soften the light up a little bit, so we'll come down to the geometry, we'll turn it into, we'll go a disc this time, why not? And then make it 100 by 100. And we can now see how it's all softened the light out. We've still got that triangle there on the cheek, as you can see. But now we've got a nice, soft, pleasant image. Job done, Rembrandt Light, and that's how we do it, and that's how we apply it in our scenes. Now, of course, this is very much a studio type environment that we do in this image, in where we're, accurately placing the lights that we're using to create the effects that we want. But there's nothing to say that you can't use the same principles in a normal, everyday type of image, like what you can see on screen at the moment, where you can apply the same principles and get the same light effects in any type of image that you do, whether it's like what you see on screen, a fantasy image downtown, cybernetic sci-fi image in the future. As long as you know what the principles are, you can apply them in any situation that you possibly can and apply these effects to your models and light your models up properly and effectively in the way that you should. Like I say, other than just throwing, spotlights down and hoping for the best. Incidentally, that little image that I did just show you there, I'm going to be dropping another video, maybe the day after this one, where I'm going to do a speed build and a speed render and a time-lapse video of showing exactly how I built that image with various commentary at various bits, so you can see what I do when I'm creating an image. So keep your eye open for that dropping, and there you go. Rembrandt Light. I hope you've got something out of this. If so, give us a thumbs up down below, because that tells the YouTube algorithm that I'm a better YouTuber than what I actually am. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing and hitting the little notification bell down below so you can keep on top of this entire series that we're doing on lighting. And as usual, if you've got any questions, any comments, anything you want to chat about, anything at all, drop them in the comments down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye now.